Namaste everyone. Today we'll talk about how does manifestation works from the neuroscience perspective part 2. So we will do quickly the recap of part 1. What we understood like understanding how the brain works help us to see how the law of attraction and manifestation works. When we repeatedly think certain thoughts, our brain cells form stronger connections, synaptic connections, right? This happens every time we learn something new. So, the more we practice positive thinking or any skill, when you learn, positive thinking or any new skill, the stronger these connections become, shaping our experience and memories. Now, we'll go to the part 2. Last time, as I mentioned, there's two ways to make synaptic connections, and one is called semantic memories and another one is called episodic memories. So we will understand more about that. How does it work? What are semantic memories? When you learn something new, such as information, a theory, knowledge, or philosophy, these are just memories or any learning information. Any generic memory is called semantic memories, which do not have to understanding of the philosophy. I repeat, we do not have an understanding of the philosophy of how you make synaptic connection in your brain. But the moment you experience any emotion or feeling with an event of intense emotion, then it becomes episodic memories. Any experience with intense emotion turns into memory, and you may not remember what food you ate 2 days ago, right? What you had breakfast, what you had lunch, and you will forget. You might remember for 2-3 days, but if I ask you what did you eat 1 week ago, you won't remember that, right? So these are semantic memories. You make the connection and you lose the connection, right? That is a short term, and you forget them. Now the brain makes connection and loses the connection, and it is very short term memories. So that is semantic memories. But the episodic memories are like wedding dates. So who will forget our wedding days? We know vividly how we have the image how the wedding went. The date you will never forget. You know what you were wearing on the wedding. You know how many people were there. You are so excited and so joyful, right? Because you had the intense emotion and you felt it and you were so joyful. What happened? The thing, when we had so deep connection, it makes the synaptic connection and it hardwires. You will never forget that date. You will always remember your wedding date. And another example is Independence Day. Independence Day also, when we fought, when we got the Independence Day, and any day, even if after 20 years, 30 years, somebody comes and asks, when you got the Independence Day, immediately you know the date. You just say the month, the date, and the year. Exactly, you know when we got the Independence Day, because we feel intense emotion. We make the synaptic connection. We hardwire that. Thanksgiving Day, or maybe other way to think. Any accident happens, like you will feel intense emotion, like some accident happens in your life, and you know the date, exact time when this happened, and you felt it for that. You would have thought, oh, Are, I would have done like this if that would have been better, because you feel it so sad, and you make intensely, you from your heart you feel it, and that gets hardwired, and you will remember. And even after 20 years you will tell the story, oh, I had accident on that day, and this happened, I had spent so much money. It was, you have that resentment, and like you feel that fear of it not happening next time, right? That is how we feel in our heart. Or the moment the first child was born, oh, and you will feel the memory will be stored, we will be so joyful. You remember how did you deliver it? It was a normal delivery or C-section? How did you go when the baby was born? How did you feel? How baby looked? And like you have a vivid image, and a very clear image, because you have that making the synaptic connection. It was hardwired in your brain. Another is, if maybe when you got the first job, you're so happy. You remember the date when you got the job, and you're so joyful, and you're very excited for working, and you remember the exact date, time, and year, right? Whatever important event, or somebody's death in your family. So if somebody, or they die in your family, you feel intense emotion in your heart, and you feel it for that, and you remember, and that makes synaptic connection. It gets hardwired in your brain, and you cannot forget that. So it remains in you. And now, like any important event that happened in your life, which was experienced with intense emotions, you feel intense emotion, a feeling of joy, or it can be sadness, or it can be, you be angry because something went wrong. You're so angry on any other person, and you cannot forget that person. Even that also gets hardwired in your brain, and you remember. You don't need somebody to remind you, you remember instantly. Or any sorrow, those experience, all that experience turns into long-term memories. They immediately get hardwired in your brain. It does not need a does not need a reminder, and you always remember it. After 10 years also, you say, my child was born on that day, and you have a very clear, vivid image when the child was born, and who was around, and how happy you were, and how everything you remember, right? Everything you remember. So this is how we make a synaptic connections. Like now you know that how that semantic memories is a short-term memory, and the episodic memory is a long-term memory. What you intensely emotionally feel, and joyness, sadness, or anger, fear, it gets hardwired, and it stores in your brain. And this is how, when we intensely feel emotion, I don't know, when it gets hardwired, and we start manifesting things in our life, and things doesn't evolve, you do not involve, because when like some sadness or some anger, fear, it comes in you, and you know that this, if you hardwire this, it will manifest. Just breathe in, and like do the breath work, and just come out of that emotion, so that you don't want to manifest that in your life. And all good things, you can just embrace it, feel intense emotion, and bring more and more in your life. and this is how the law of attraction works and how do we manifest. And hope this theory helps you to understand how we make the synaptic connections, and how it gets hardwired in our brain. So you should always repeat. That's why they say you repeat all positive affirmations, positive things. What you keep repeating, that that you become. So that is how, because we don't want to make the synaptic connections that doesn't bring good in our life. What does not evolve, do not involve. And thank you for watching this video. If you find any value in this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe my channel. And thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Love all, serve all.